Alright, so if you don't know what Chainsaw Man is, it's about a guy who has the ability to transform himself into a part chainsaw, part human hybrid.
Chainsaw Man is back, and this time it's not just bloody, it's beautiful. After all the hype, chaos and controversy from Season 1, Chainsaw Man the movie, Reze Arc just dropped, and it might be the one thing that completely changes how people see this series. Because this isn't just about Denji fighting another devil, this is about heartbreak, humanity, and what happens when the chainsaw finally meets love.
If you somehow don't think that's awesome right off the bat, then I really have nothing more to say to you. Chainsaw Man is the latest anime getting the feature-length film treatment, and this story takes place during a brutal war between devils, hunters, and secret enemies as a mysterious girl named Reze steps into Denji's world, forcing him to face his deadliest battle yet, fueled by love in a world where survival knows no rules. Now, I wouldn't go as far as calling myself an anime expert by any means, but since around 2020, I've been really going out of my way to consume a ton of that style of content. I've seen every episode of Dragon Ball anything. I was a big fan of Cyberpunk Edgerunners, and Death Note was also a worthwhile investment. But the one that really had a grip on me and made me feel like I was witnessing the absolute best of what the medium had to offer was Chainsaw Man. Its visuals, its concept, and its sense of humor just fit perfectly into what I was looking for, and I've been begging for more ever since it dropped back in 2022. So when I heard that we were getting the next story arc in movie form, I was a little underwhelmed just because I really liked the amount of content that comes along with having an actual season of television. But obviously, take whatever I can get at this point, and had to assume that they were going to go all out to make this feel like a true cinematic event. So when I sat down to watch this film, I was hoping to get everything I usually get from the show, which is crazy action, a killer soundtrack, and characters I actually want to spend time with. And I'm happy to say that Chainsaw Man the movie pretty much delivers in every one of those areas. When it comes to the story they decided to go with here, this is obviously a direct continuation from where the first season of the anime left off, so I wouldn't suggest diving into this film without having all of that background knowledge, because there is a lot going on in this devil-filled world. But if you're a fan of the anime already, then one of the biggest compliments I can give is that it feels like a natural continuation of the show. Sometimes when a transition is made from an episodic to a feature film format, the energy and vibe you become accustomed to can get lost in the shuffle, and that doesn't happen here. Now, it's been a few years since the first season of the anime came out, so I don't mind getting reacquainted with these characters, but there's no denying that the pacing when it comes to the beginning of the film is a little bit slow before we get into the meat and potatoes of this story. Like, it's almost all dialogue in the first half, then all mayhem in the second. I wish it maybe gave us one more fight scene early on and a touch more screen time with a few specific characters, but this narrative still has a lot to offer overall. Since this is another one of those big-time action-packed anime movies, if the visuals aren't bringing the heat, then we've got a serious problem on our hands. But this is something that this anime has already been known to do super well, and luckily for us, it's no different when it's up on the big screen. There's a part of me that kind of loves when anime decide to adapt their next arc in a movie format instead of a show, because that means that they're going absolutely balls to the wall, packing every last bit of their resources into this 2-hour package to give us the type of action sequences we would never see on the small screen. The first half of this film definitely takes it easy when it comes to the visuals. Everything still looks clean and detail-oriented, but they don't really reach into their bag of tricks until the back half of this story. Once a certain confrontation kicks off the point of no return, all hell breaks loose, and we're met with some of the most bonkers and vibrant anime action that I've seen up on the big screen in a long time. There may be a fleeting
The movie slows everything down just enough to make you care. MAPPA gives us cinematic quality. Rain-drenched streets, quiet moments, surreal tension. It feels like a love story trapped inside a horror film set, and that duality is what makes it powerful.
Moment here and there where so much fast-paced action is happening that it can be kind of difficult to figure out what's going on in front of you, but those instances are few and far between, and the overwhelming majority of the chaos is all executed super well. We have to spend a little bit of time talking about the unsung hero and MVP of this movie, though, which is just the sound design as a whole. I was lucky enough to check this one out on a big old IMAX screen, and the entire experience was completely elevated because of the sound effects, the soundtrack, and the voice acting going on from beginning to end. Those speakers were absolutely booming the whole time. I mean, come on, crazy devils popping up all over the place, battles that are leveling entire cities, a guy literally made out of chainsaws. This is the type of movie where impeccable sound design is gonna make a huge difference. They really exceeded my expectations in that regard, because when Denji finishes transforming, is shit-talking his opponent, and the guitar riffs start running wild, it's gonna feel like sensory overload in the best way possible. What more could you ask for out of the audio and visual side of the house when it comes to an anime film? Overall, guys, Chainsaw Man the movie is a high-octane and chaotic treat for fans of the anime. It's got pretty much everything you're looking for when it comes to the action sequences, a few unexpected moments, and its signature brand of immaturity. Sure, maybe the pacing is a little off and it can feel like a tale of two halves at times, but both distinct segments work together to offer up a good deal of character development and some of the craziest fight scenes of the entire year. Anime fans, stay winning, baby. Chainsaw Man the movie gets a Sully score of 4 stars. So that's my review of the latest anime turned movie. What's an anime series that you're absolutely obsessed with right now?
Critics say it's one of MAPPA's best directed projects. Fans are calling it the calm before the storm. A heartbreak that shapes everything in part 2. It hits the perfect balance between violence and vulnerability. The Reze Arc isn't about Chainsaw Man cutting through devils. It's about Denji realizing he's not just a weapon. It's the story of a boy who wanted love and got destroyed by it. So yeah, this movie isn't just good. It's devastating. But the real question is, was Reze ever truly his enemy? Let me know your thoughts below, because after this film, Denji's story might never be the same again.